Good morning, everyone. Yar.
Oh, we are.
Where's your eye patch?
I didn't bring it.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry.
true. There was a big eye patch.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'd also
Hello.
committed heavily to trying to go and get some pirate stuff to wear, but
I should have went by any drugstore like Walgreens or CVS or whatever
an eye
and
patch.
bought an eye patch. But the weather we've been having weather in Seattle.
It's a snowpocalypse.
Weird.
6 whole inches.
There's something falling out of the sky that's not just water.
Yeah.
And it ruins everything.
Welcome to the Dev Chat today, February 6th, 2019, the start of the Talion CID. I'm Will Hungerford, lead developer at Privateer Press. With me is your development manager, Schoonover.
Who's what?
Your
Where?
development
Those?
manager.
Oh.
And of course, our playtest coordinator, Jeff Olson.
Hello.
And as you can tell by the swarthy music, is that the term I want to use?
The background's also very,
Yeah.
very piratical.
It's a piratey kind of day. Before we get into the CID, which will be pretty much the entirety of our topic today, a couple quick reminders for everybody. First off, for those of you that normally watch the streams, we would get your paint on with Jordan tomorrow. Jordan and I are both going to leave for LVO, Las Vegas Open, tomorrow, so there will be no get your paint on tomorrow. So apologies for that. We will be back next week, and if you're in the Vegas area, come hang out and get your paint on live, because Jordan's going to be there painting with people. I'll be there playing games.
Yeah, get your paint on live, not tomorrow, but this weekend.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Crushed it.
Crushed it.
Maybe Jordan's going to be painting on the airplane. Maybe some lucky individual sitting next to Jordan will get your paint on total experience.
No, he just sleeps.
I don't.
Yeah. We are, of course, live right now at twitch.tv/privateerpress. So we've got Facebook and Twitch right up. Hi, everybody in chat. Thanks for joining us. We will be trying to answer your questions and chat with you as much as we can, though we've got, a lot to cover today. And if you ever miss a show, check us out on youtube.com/privateerpressprime.
Question about Monpoc at LVO. There will be sales of Monpoc, demos of Monpoc, some pre-releases. And I don't think there's an event. I think there was talk of trying to squeeze an event in last minute, but I don't think they did. But who knows? They might have.
Yeah, the thing
they
is,
might have a small event.
we're not running the events.
Yeah.
We're showing up to sell cool stuff and to kind of hang out. LVO is a fun show. I would go to that show even if the company wasn't sending me. So we're just sort of there as the guests, honestly. But we're not running the event, so I don't 100% know. One thing, actually two things I mentioned before we get into it. First off, the current mini crates. For those of you that haven't seen, there is a new mini crate from the normal line right now. That's the Harlequin verse. She's up till February 19th. After that, the model will swap. And of course, if you sign up for 6 months, you do get the free VIP model, which is still Alexia, Handmaiden of Death. And the new L5R, the new Legend of the Five Rings mini crate model just got shown, Daidoji. So Daidoji is available until
Please, Daidoji.
February or March 8th. March 5th. March 5th. Thank you, Tony. Tony Konachek, our video producer, always on point. Thank you, Tony. You're wonderful.
I thought that was an air high five back there.
It was kind of an air high five. So March 5th for Daidoji and February 19th for Harlequin Versh. And speaking of sweet-looking models and just, this hobby that we enjoy so much, for those of you that haven't caught, there is a new hobby terrain Instagram being run by Danny Samuels, our in-house studio terrain master. Privateer_press_terrain. So if you're on Instagram and you want to see all the cool terrain stuff Danny's working on, stuff like the new Iron Gauntlet tables, just different pieces of terrain he's working on, and I think tutorials as well, that Instagram just went live. So check it out, and if you're like me, I love nice big. My table is as important to me as my models being painted. I want everything to look cool.
And he's showing old stuff. If you go through there's an Orgoth Gator shrine that he made for a table a while ago that people might have seen at cons. But he's also showing off that new Iron Gauntlet table for this year, the Infernal Tower of Doom, whatever it is. Yeah. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. So chat right now is saying that we all need parrots on our shoulders. We really did not come prepared in terms of eye patches, parrots, or scurvy.
Yeah.
I do have the monkey from my pirate costume at home accessible. I should have brought the monkey.
I had legit planned to go to the store and get a hat and a stuffed patch, but
that weather.
But we were snowed in. I was snowed in at home. I live at the top of a hill.
So now we know that blizzards defeat pirates. In the
Historically.
chain of things, if you ever have to fight pirates.
Is that like a new rock, paper, scissors? Is it like blizzards, pirates, and something?
Yeah.
If the water's frozen, the boat can't go anywhere. So, it's Talion CID. Man, we talked about this way too early last year, and things got pushed around a little bit.
Someone promised me it was going to happen.
Did you know that people lie?
So they don't lie. This is what we talk about all the time. Production schedules change, and the Talion stuff got all moved around. And then it came back. We were in the meeting where we were like, wait, we could do that then. Yeah, we could. And then we just moved it back and forth.
But it's here now.
A couple of times. And then in that same meeting, we were like, we need one more model for this. What should it be? And everybody said, it's a monkey.
Of course it's a monkey.
Yeah. So we're going to start with two.
The ship has arrived. We are docked and ready to go. Let's talk about, first off, let's talk about the new theme changes before we talk about the new models and the old models, because
I forgot to print that.
So the theme itself has had some updates,
Yes.
and that's really important because the theme before was honestly a little lacking. I mean, a core part of any Italian list is going to be the solos and how they support the Sea Dogs. That's kind of been that way since Mark 1 with how they released. I mean, you can go Bart and play like Warjack heavy, Battle Group heavy if you want to, but I think Talion is really exemplified by swarms of pirates that are sort of hitting above their weight class because of the support of the solos, and the counterplay is as you pick those solos out, they start to get weaker and weaker and weaker. Previously, the solos all got dodge from the theme force. That's been upgraded because dodge wasn't kind of cutting it. Now all the solos get sack pawn Sea Dog, allowing you to really keep them safe as you're surrounded by your swarms of Scallywags.
Yeah.
I can't actually say Scallywag anymore because we actually put out a model called the Scallywag. But so that's the first big update. Now the theme force benefit is you either get a free solo or you get 2 free deck guns.
Yep.
You'll see the deck guns also got updated when we talk about the legacy models. And then the third benefit is pretty spicy. The ambush came off the press gangers, because now press gangers just have ambush.
Ambush went on to the press.
Yeah. We'll talk about that again later. But now the thematic idea is that the Talion, the ship itself, is just offshore. It's just off the battlefield. And so before the game begins, you get to put these 4-inch AoEs down that drift around. The measurements mean you're not really going to hit your opponent's front deployment line.
Yeah, we read that very specifically. We didn't want people drifting into the AD line or whatever.
But these AoE stay in play for the first round of the game. They're difficult terrain, and they just do a PAL 12 to anybody that walks into them. So you get the opening sort of bombardment from the ship. They do a broadsides as the battle begins to sort of pin the enemy down and let your big swarm of infantry get a turn to move up the field.
So you say the Talion shooting.
I like to believe it's the Talion shooting.
What about Bart? What's Bart's ship?
What is-
Indominus or something?
Yeah, I think
Chat quick.
No,
no.
This is
That's
the
Rengraves.
ghost pirate ship. But if you look at that art behind us over there, that art,
Over that
it's kind of hard to show any.
You're right in the way.
That is a picture of the 2 ships sailing, firing their cannons.
I'm trying to remember the name of that ship now.
Talion's the front one, which is smaller, and Bart's ship is massive.
It is
and just
massive.
covered in guns.
Well, it's because he just loves to shoot.
He likes guns.
It should just be called the Sea Cat. Someone in the chat says get Sea Cat. It should just be called the Sea Cat.
Calamitous? Calamitous?
Calamitous. That's what it is. It's a calamitous.
Someone's got
Thank you,
it.
chat.
Thanks.
Thanks,
So-
chat.
Thanks.
Let's jump in, shall we? Let's start with the most important new model added in any CID ever, the Powder Monkey.
I don't know. I think all monkeys are the same in my eyes. The Malady Man monkey is just as important as the powder.
Also, on Twitter today, someone came up with the best nickname for him already, the Cask Chimp.
Yeah, I saw that.
So,
I saw that.
take that, Grimkin. The Cask Chimp has you beat. So, the Powder Monkey is clearly a support piece. When people look at him, I saw a lot of people look and read him really fast. They saw ancillary attack on him and kind of like, oh my god, you can't do that for mercs. But ancillary attack specifically is target-friendly faction privateer warjack.
Yeah.
So
we,
even though
we
this
can enter words into those abilities to
Yes.
change them up a little bit.
Also, I think he basically only goes into the Talion theme as well. Maybe he's in Steel. I'll have to double check. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't know.
But if you were playing out of theme, for example,
Yes.
like don't worry, it only works on the privateers. Now it's still incredibly strong. The Galleon and the Blockader can shoot 1,000,000 times if they want to.
Sure.
But
But it does only affect. It can only affect a jack once.
Yeah, but
you can't.
like
you can't have 3 monkeys on your Galleon
I'm saying
firing
in
lots and lots and lots of.
in addition to their normal rate of fire, just one extra attack.
Yep.
Combine that with Empower. And we all know Empower is like one of the best Jack support abilities you can just put on solo out there. Like free focus and get rid of disruption is amazing. And these guys are FA3 and cost 2 points. So like running all 3 of them, It reminds me almost like the Cephalix Agitator. They're super cheap, but they're super useful, and you're probably going to run max FA of them.
Yep.
Two of the things he has, of course, he has Monkey Bite.
He has to have Monkey Bite.
Yep.
Because why wouldn't you have Monkey Bite? He's got a gun.
He's also got a bite.
He's got a bite. He unlike Walls' monkey that doesn't actually bite you. This monkey will bite you while monkey biting you.
Monkey bites.
He also, like, the render, he's definitely being like, stay off my lawn.
Yeah. But look at him. Like, that monkey will cap you in the nugget if you get too close. He's
He's a
rat
gun.
5, POW 10. Like, it's nothing.
He's only range 8, yeah.
It's nothing.
He's not going to have a big impact with his
But
pistol.
somebody's caster is going to get assassinated by a powder monkey shot.
Or the second or the third powder monkey shot.
Yeah.
No,
that's
you
gonna
mean
happen.
someone's caster is definitely going to get assassinated by a catastrophic explosion.
I was about to say, so in a playtest that you were in, you and Souls, the other day, and I walked by the table and you were looking and you're like, you were trying to figure out like exactly what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
And we rigged together this absurd assassination on Souls' caster using catastrophic explosion. And it was the catastrophic explosion that did the final point of damage and killed him.
Yeah, I just had to light my own monkey on fire with a flamethrower shot from the Blockader.
Yeah.
And then the monkey exploded and killed the caster.
Yeah, because it was great. It was amazing. Catastrophic explosion is the other rule chilling on the monkey. If you ever blow the monkey up, the powder keg takes off.
Yep.
You pick a spot, he deviates from there, and everything underneath it takes a POW 12 and is set on fire.
Yeah, that's the ability that was originally on the Caskimp creating guys in
Madcaps.
Grimkin, the Madcaps.
Madcaps.
I always think that they have like some other word in their name, like still,
Madcaps.
because that thing is so much of a giant machine, but it's Madcaps.
Yeah. So powder monkeys, I mean, they're like a mariner's best friend. Hang out, let him shoot, and then let him shoot again, and or give him a focus if necessary.
I always forget all their names because there's all S's for the jacks, but the Swabber, we'll get to him. They like that too because it gets a second drag from his harpoon. Great for the Galleon for
double drag again, right?
I mean, if you have Bart, you can get triple drags.
Yeah, it's pretty legit.
And somebody asked thematically how they're empowering things, because normally empowering is some sort of like wizardy thing. He just puts gunpowder in the boiler.
This is like fuel. He's just like dumping.
Dumps gunpowder in the engine.
Yeah.
And that's gonna perk that jack right up.
He's just monkey power.
More monkey power.
So powder monkey, obviously this is a model to test very closely. Ancillary attack and empower are very strong abilities, especially with the range capabilities of privateer warjacks. We'll be keeping a very close eye on him. You look at him, again, cost 2, FA 3. This is a strong solo.
Yeah.
He's obviously Def 13, Arm 10 with like next to no defensive capability other than a monkey bite, but who the hell's running up and punching a monkey? You're going to try and shoot the monkey if you can.
Yeah.
He is a privateer solo, so he does get the sack pawn ability to get off the Sea Dog. So keeping him alive, we'll see. But we're going to keep a close eye. Don't be surprised if maybe the point cost ends up going up. Maybe an ability gets cut. Maybe he's fine.
I mean,
Your
or
battle reports are
you
toast.
sack pawn to him because he's a
He's also a Sea Dog. Well, actually, one powder monkey can sack pawn to another powder monkey.
And then that,
And then
that
that
powder
one's
monkey will launch
it's
the barrel.
just
Yeah, I like it.
Dunzoed. We've solved
So that
it.
is one of the models we are looking at the closest in this CID to test. Because that ancillary attack can be really powerful on something like drag, getting multiples of that during a turn, those kind of things.
The catastrophic explosion is a very potent late game tool for doing things.
It is a little random and hard to like use on purpose, but it can be powerful.
Peter Liphart in the chat says, he'll punch this monkey. Don't tell him how to live. Peter, I'll see you at LVO in a couple days. We can have this conversation in person about punching these poor little monkeys. What do they do other than shoot at you?
Well, they're angry too. That fist.
Let's talk about the new privateer light Warjack, not the non-character one.
Let's do that. It's a swashbuckler.
Yeah.
He buckles some swashes.
He does. He has the weirdest hand.
He has an amazing hand. He has a clamp revolver.
He's got a clamp
so
hand.
if you haven't
There.
seen the rules yet and you're looking at the art on the screen, that is a clamp that's also a gun.
It's got a revolver in it.
It's got a gun clamp. We have done axe guns, we have done sword guns, we have done other guns, gun guns maybe.
Like that weapon.
We've never done a clamp gun.
The madman that engineered that, he's like, all right, give it like a revolver in its hand. Okay, seems pretty strong.
Yeah.
Let it clamp onto people's faces before it shoots them, though. That's excessive. Do it anyway. That's like some Mortal Kombat fatality stuff right there. Like clamp them by the head and lift them up and just empty the revolver into their nugget. Well, tell us what he does.
So amphibious is a new thing to some of these jacks in general.
Yeah, I
so
think the
we're
Buccaneer
putting
chassis.
amphibious across a lot of the privateer jacks because it just makes sense that they're built to, not be soaked by water and ruined every time they touch water because they're on the sea. But this guy's big thing is he has dual attack and he has close volley on his clamp because the clamp grabs you and he shoots you. That's the ability that we added to the Dusters in that Retribution CID. So he can get a lot of attacks with dual attack and he can auto shoot you if he clamps you with that close volley.
Yeah, he's interesting. He's got brutal charge on his cutlass, right? So he comes in with a 15 if he hits you with the charge. Then he goes for the clamp, and if he hits the clamp, he then auto hits you with a PAL 10. So you're looking at a boosted 15, then an 11, and then a 10.
Yeah.
Or if he kills the initial target, he can then shoot the clamp gun, whatever it's called, the pepper box, out, and he can go hunting for like support solos or key support models.
So it lets him reach a little deeper.
Just to try and like put a random shot into a caster, things like that.
Yeah.
This guy's only 8 points. He's pretty cheap, and he does a lot. He's got some good versatility to him. I mean, this is obviously not going to be going toe-to-toe with heavies.
Yeah.
It's good for fighting other lights a little bit, but I definitely see this as more like a medium-based infantry / solo hunter. And also, just volume of attacks. If you get into somebody and you can boost that clamp and then auto-hit the 10 on them, maybe you hit somebody that's like def 14, arm 14, and it's got 5 damage boxes.
Yeah.
You might charge with and boost the clamp just to be sure, though the 15 might just kill him.
And this thing can make a lot of attacks against something like a caster.
Yeah, it can.
With 3 focus, that's going to be even more melee attacks or whatever.
Yep.
Absolutely.
The other thing I want to point out real quick while we're here is something people will notice is this chassis, the Buccaneer swashbuckler.
What was originally the Buccaneer chassis? Yeah.
We have basically universally increased arm across the Talion jacks, the privateer jacks, by 1. So if you're wondering why this guy is arm 16 but the Buccaneer is 15, fear not. The Buccaneer is now also arm 16.
Another thing you can do with this little fella is he can run up and clamp somebody. Clamp specifically says that you automatically hit with your range attacks this turn. So then if Bart broadsides and if a monkey ancillaries, that's 2 more auto-hitting 10s that happen. So you hit them and then you go with 3 auto-hitting 10s afterwards.
Yeah. And nothing would be better than killing a caster with the monkey running up and screaming, shoot, and then the guy just shoots the caster one more time.
A lot of chat's already talking about Kane 3, with Kane 3's feet specifically, working with these guys that will also be very strong. And that's the thing, we're really interested to see what people are going to pull off, not just within Talion, but these are Merc jacks that will work in other places as well. And that's always the difficulty of testing Mercs and minions. We are specifically looking at Talion. We only really are looking for feedback on the things we're testing in Talion.
Yeah.
But people are obviously going to test and are welcome to say, I tried it with Kane 3. I tried it with, pick any other Merc caster that you can run these fellows with, like, Ashland. And you never know what other results you might get. We've tried to test it with the full lot of them as much as we possibly could, but now we're putting it in front of thousands of you. So really looking forward to the feedback and kind of the cool synergies that people come up with.
We had a question in the chat, if that pepper box is supposed to be a spray 8, it's not.
No, it's just a single shot.
Pepper box pistol is an old-timey pistol where the entire cylinder is continued and each one of the bullets is a barrel. So it's just, it rotates as it fires.
Yeah.
And then it just loads, every bullet comes out its own barrel for some crazy old-timey reason. So it's just a weird pistol.
And Hunter in Facebook brings up with amphibious, he's interested in trying him in minions because Ralph Moorclaw can bring Jack Marshall Jacks in blind water, among other things. And
do it. Check it out.
Try it all.
Give him the clamp.
What is? I forgot his drive. What is Ralph Moorclaw's drive?
I do not remember off the top of my head.
Is it Hog Wild?
Someone let us know because
like
I do like Ralph Moorclaw, but I totally forgot what his drive is.
I've got a custom rover for Rallick because the gun in the melee, so I think it's like assault.
Sorry, I can't remember every single model's rules. I apologize.
Infinite Blade in Twitch has a question about Fiona. We will be talking about Fiona and all of her changes later. We're going to go through the new models first, and then we'll go through the legacy models.
Yar.
Let's go through some Scallywag, man.
Scallywag.
Yeah, so...
Scallywag's probably my favorite because he has a skull face.
He is a skull-faced character, Jack.
And by the way, someone also brought this up in chat. They're asking about whether or not he should be arm 16 because he's the same chassis. Probably. That's probably just us.
That might just be a typo.
Yeah. So we'll double check on that, and if that is the case, we will have a fix. If it's not the case, we'll let you know.
So Jeff, give us the rundown on this.
Scallywag is Shay's new character, Jack. He is automatically, as part of the changes to the theme, he has been added to the composition of the Talion Charter theme. So even if you're not running Shay, if you're running Fiona or Bart or whoever in the Talion Charter, you can still take Scallywag. He's a very squirrely Jack. He's got a lot of tricks. He's got a page of rules, so make sure you kind of take it all in. But his bond with Shay is he gains gang fighters. So if you have other duders up there with him, he hits a little bit, more damage and more accurately, which is very strong. He has Bounding Leap. I want to kind of hit these in like the groups they're in. So Bounding Leap and Overtake allow him to get into weird and parry. Allow him to like get into weird places and do weird things.
He's super hard to pin down.
Yeah. So you're going to use those things to overtake through your opponent's lines a little bit. You can Bounding Leap to get behind them and do weird things. Parry just lets him kind of willy-nilly go wherever he wants to go. Then the other package he kind of has on him is Rise, Feign Death, and Hit the Deck. So he can't be hit by an AoE, and if an AoE would clip him at all, he just falls over. Once he's fallen over, you can't shoot him because you think he's dead. And then if you return, he just pops right back on up.
So good.
So
and the other big interaction is you were talking about the bond with Shay. He has Gang Fighter, and he has Point Blank.
Yes.
Point Blank is specifically a melee attack with your ranged weapon, so Gang Fighter and Point Blank do work together. So when you bring him with Shay, he's getting that on all of the attacks if you are also making the ranged attack in melee instead of shooting normally.
So he is going where he pleases, and he is also going to be pretty hard to get off the table unless you were like putting some very concentrated direct fire into him. You can also just knock him down yourself by like having an AoE near him.
Yep.
So
I like to imagine he's really dramatic about it, like a little small grenade blows up near him, and he's like, oh, and he falls over like really dramatically to make sure everybody knows.
And then the whole time he's on the ground, he's like, Shay, why Shay?
Like a soccer player, he's holding his knee and rolling back and forth screaming.
Maybe it's like a fainting goat. He just like kind of like skips a couple times and his legs lock up and he falls over.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, this guy, man, with Gang Fighter, and you're not gonna have a problem getting a fact. Like you just bring Hawk, right, and put Hawk where you need it, and then he walks up, leaps, overtakes where he needs. You're looking at with Shay, Mat 9, and then 3 different POW 14 initials if you're getting Gang Fighter off each of them.
So what this guy is definitely bringing is a high volume of very rock solid. I mean, POW 12s are just a generically good POW in this game. So he's just bringing 3 accurate, good POW attacks, and then if you bring with Shay, he just kind of puts it to 11, right?
Yeah. So things we're looking at this guy. Honestly, is he too strong? Like he does a lot of stuff.
Got a lot going on,
and he's 10 points. Like we look at like Jacks like Moros, for example, and all that Moros does in terms of assassination capability and how hard he can hit for being a light. Again, it's a character. You're not going to be flooding the field with Scallywags, but still, we want to make sure that at 10 points, this isn't just way too powerful. So, do his points need to go up? Is he just right? Is he too complicated? When you play this model, you're like, there's
a lot going on this guy.
There's just too much going on here. I've got so many different things I'm trying to figure out, and if so, like what is causing the problem? So that's the main stuff we're keeping an eye on for him.
And then is he only worth taking with Shay, or do you want to take him with the other casters as well in Talion? That's definitely something because we want him to be an attractive choice. Period. Obviously, his bond should take him to that next level, but do you still take him with Fiona or a Bart or right?
Yep.
Or a Rahera, which we'll get to.
Very soon. After we talk about this Swabber.
A2D is talking in Twitch chat about using your Buccaneer to shoot your own Scallywag to knock him down. Just the mental image of that is hilarious.
I just like the fact that because I have to imagine that Buccaneers look at Scallywag because maybe he's like pompous or something. They're like, that guy's just so far ahead of himself. Yeah. And they just walk around throwing nets on him.
Well, he's also got
maybe that's how he learned how to rise.
He's also got the Talion logo on the top hatch of his body. He's got extra bling compared to them.
I like his model a lot. I like his big gun axe he has, and I like his big skull face. He's really cool.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the new heavy that's
Swabber.
showing up.
The
Swabber.
Swabber.
So he does not have a mop.
Oh shoot! What have we done?
I kind of wish he did.
What
is like on his back, like just some cargo back there, just a mop and a bucket.
Yeah.
You could convert that model easily, and at the end of the harpoon, just put a mop head.
Just put a crazy
like he's just firing mops.
Yeah. You could just convert that and put that'd be
mopping
great.
people.
You're just firing. Oh my gosh.
So serious now. Less mop talk, more real talk.
Okay. Go for it.
No, I was just. You go for it.
Wow.
No, actually, I'll do this because harpoon.
What just happened? Go ahead.
Wow.
Whatever happens. Because harpoons are one of my favorite things in the entire game, just because thematically, like I love the idea of them.
Yep.
Started out playing Reapers and stuff like that with Cricks, so I just love harpoons. And this is a smaller harpoon than the Galleon, but harpoons are really good positioning tools. And the only problem with the harpoon you ever have to deal with is that range. You have to get your model up there, and this guy has a giant shield to help him get across the table.
Yep.
To position that harpoon. So.
And there's also access to snipe in mercs. So not inside privateers, but you can bring Magnus 1 if you want to, and have sniped swabbers, and also bring, you play out of theme if you wanted, and bring monkeys.
So this Jack is all about shooting things. He has a shield cannon and a harpoon, and he can punch things with his shield. And then he's also defensive, and much more defensive than most of the other privateer jacks, because he has girded and lash. So your other pirate models that are near him won't fall over and also won't take blast damage.
Yeah, so you got to build this cool little bunker to get across the table.
Lash is on the freebooter and the mariner, but I don't believe girded is. And we raised the armor of all the heavies by 1 as well.
Yeah,
so that's why he's at 12,
so
18.
This guy goes to a 20 with a shield.
Yes. So when you see the other heavies, the mariner and the freebooter, you also notice that their armor went up.
So the goal of this guy is to kind of provide this kind of like ranged bunker who kind of dirtles across the table, laying down some fire with his shield cannon, and then when he gets into an opportune spot, he drags you in, gives you a good old bop in with the shield, and then lets the pirates finish you off. The girded lash is a very common staple of our heavies, which allow you to be base to base and not fall over. But the girded is kind of thematic with the shield. He also protects him from the splash damage on blasts.
So Justin Blackwood on Facebook says, is there going to be a kit that is the Mariner Freebooter and Swabber all together? No, not to my knowledge. I believe the Swabber is going to be its own individual kit, but we don't have, we're in dev, so we don't have all the details of the exact production and stuff yet. So
production is a magical, mystical voodoo land that is...
There's a factory right over there, and miniatures come out. I have no idea how it works. So I don't think so, but we're not 100% sure.
Yeah. We're not the people to ask that question of.
Somebody asked, why is the Swabber Rat 6 when the Mariner is Rat 5? And that's we were looking at creating some differences, the power of the AoE, the multiple shots, the range of this guy, how close he has to get up there, and stuff like that. Is it right? Does his rat need to go down? That's stuff to test in CID, and let us know what you think.
I'm just making sure it was not changed.
Oh, it wasn't.
Just to double check.
So, that was an intentional decision, and I would say just try it out in CID. Let us know if you think the rat's too high. Let us know if maybe you think the Mariner's rat is too low, and why.
And there are plenty of instances in the game too of the same chassis being different stats.
Yep, definitely.
So. It's quality of weapons as well as the training of the thing,
or the quality of the cortex or whatever.
Quality or whatever like that.
So, not only for our pirate friends, but our Crix friends got themselves a cute little surprise. First off, one thing we failed to mention in the Talion theme force at the beginning of this was that the shard models are now part of the theme force. So those of you that play Crix and have all the shard pirates, including the Dirge Seers, you can now include those in Talion. So
we're basically kind of bleeding over the edge of what's a pirate in the setting and how they work together and that kind
specifically,
of stuff.
The shard pirates would go work with other human pirates. You're not necessarily going to see the Ghost Fleet isn't going to go hang out with Shay, and also some of the Satixis and more completely corrupted evil creatures.
But also a lot of those people owe direct allegiance to a Lich Lord and the dragon and all that stuff. But the shard people are just humans that live on those islands. And some of them are independent pirates. So they can get hired onto Italian crews or whatever.
So all the shard pirates work in Talion, and that's something that's important for us to mention. Because we have Captain Ohara, Terror of the Wailing Sea, to talk about next.
Which is the model that we previewed with Art a little while ago. And now you can see what her pose and her weapons are going to look like. And you can see her back, which a lot of people are asking if that skull on her shoulder was wearing goggles. It's not. It's just bolted on there.
If the skull's wearing goggles?
If you look at the image of the front of her, there's two kind of circles off the top of the skull, and it almost looks like it's got goggles on.
Why don't we have skulls with goggles?
We probably do somewhere. I mean...
Oh, Bile Thralls.
Yeah, the Bile Thrall.
There's got to be a Bile Thrall that has a skull with...
The commander has goggles.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't mean we couldn't do more skulls with goggles. But in this instance, no, those are just great big giant bolts.
So Captain Ohara is a new Merc caster who is also a Crix partisan. So Crix players enjoy, give her a shot. We'd definitely like a little bit of feedback on how she's performing there. She has a laundry list of things we're going to go over. So she's specifically sort of like an aggressive melee caster, who plays kind of a mixed arms force of both infantry and jacks. That's kind of the direction we were going with her. So I'm going to kind of skip straight to her spell list and then kind of come back to hit some of these other things. She's got Black Spot. It's an offensive upkeep that allows her or other models to generate extra attacks. This is a good place to keep an eye out on ancillary attacking, dragging, black spotting shots, please. So please let us know how that goes, because that's a thing. Bleed is kind of her generic offensive nuke. It fits in with kind of like the darker blood magic that she's tapping into as opposed to like classic arcane stuff. She has Escort, so this is going to be a speed boost for all of her jacks. Again, this is something super relevant to watch out for because like Crix 9 Slayers is a list with Gatsby 3. Is Crix 9 Slayers with Rahera suddenly a list? Because she has Escort and Manifest Destiny, which really ramps up the consistency of your battle group.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to be really interested to see is how people feel about Rahera Slayer list versus the tried and true Asphyxia Slayer list that we know is at like top of the power charts right now. I mean, she doesn't have Field Marshal Unyielding or anything. Escort is good. It's not mobility.
Not quite mobility, but it's just an upkeep.
They don't gain. I mean, like, but Manifest Destiny, right?
Yes.
Manifest Destiny is a real spell. Like, that is a very, very powerful spell, especially in all melee force.
I mean, they're all.
I mean,
there are some spells.
Technically, they're all fake spells because we make them up, but.
Okay, I get it. I understand.
Then last but not least, she has Windstorm, and Windstorm is an extremely potent ability to keep your models safe. She is only focus 6, so it's not the biggest control area in the universe, but, like, it's very powerful. I think the important thing about her is to understand that she has multiple high-cost spells. She's probably going to upkeep Escort, which means you're really going to get to cast one of your spells, either Manifest Destiny or Windstorm, based on the situation. Maybe
Unless
Black Spot.
you chop someone's head off with your axe.
Exactly. So then we kind of get back up to the top. She is very aggressive and melee-oriented. She's speed 7, which is naturally very high in War Machine. She brings a couple of good weapons, a couple of POW 13s. One of them's got crit decap. Watch out for those Manifest Destiny crit decaps on her. And also, the other one has Blood Boon. So this allows her to try and go in, whack an enemy model, kill it, trigger the Blood Boon, and then cast the spell that she needs in that situation, either a Windstorm or a Manifest Destiny. And then she sprints to safety or to the perfect positioning for her abilities. She has parry and acrobatics, so she is going where she wants to go. And you are not stopping her. A couple other things. She has Tactician for Privateer and Shard, so she's going to let your big wall of bodies kind of maneuver through each other.
Which is huge.
Yes.
Like, that is such a very strong ability.
Yeah, so please keep an eye on that. Let us know what you think. Does it really help? Does it? Because typically pirates as a, and you've been a pirate player over the years. I think both of you actually have been.
No, I haven't.
They tend to be kind of like a, you're
just
dwarves. But they tend to have like bodies on the table. And when
Yeah.
you have a lot of bodies, moving them into the right place can oftentimes be a struggle.
Sometimes you're tripping over your own feet.
Especially when you're playing pirates, which have this whole like layered interaction of this solo needs to be here because he's got this aura that does this thing, but then I have to have these guys there to do this other thing. So this is a very powerful ability that helps her support those models.
Before we talk about the feat, there's something you mentioned that I just want to kind of readdress. I've seen some comments already, people saying that she can't cast everything, she can't do everything.
Good.
That's by design. She is focus hungry if you don't Blood Boon by design. She is meant to encourage you to get in, do everything Jeff just talked about in terms of killing someone, Blood Booning what you need to, sprinting back to safety, using Tactician, back through your lines, and kind of being a very aggressive midline caster. So we don't want her in a position where suddenly she's able to do everything she wants to and upkeep her spell every single turn without having to do something. This is not a backfield, midfield buff caster. This is definitely somebody you need to put up there.
I think the people who are going to get the most out of Rahera are the people who really like to put themselves into dangerous situations confidently. The people who play her forward with Windstorm, make your opponent get into their space, and then go, cool, well now I'm going to charge you, kill this model, I'm going to trigger a Blood Boon, either cast a Windstorm or Manifest Destiny, and then I'm going to sprint her into someplace weird and just be confident that my army is going to do what it needs to do so that she doesn't get stepped on, right? And then last but not least, let's talk about the feat. So your friendly living trooper models, by the way, all this is very intentional because we didn't want you Blood Booning and crit decapping with Banes. Gain Bloodbound. Bloodbound is the rule that's on the Devil Shadow Mutineers. Effectively, it means that when your models kill enemy models, you bring dudes back into your units. So this is a very powerful attrition tool to get your models back on the table and get you back into fighting shape as you try and cross. Combine this with the fact that you've got Windstorm means that you're probably not losing a ton on the way in. What you lose is going to be kind of in the scrum, right? And then you just get a refill once you kind of mix it up on the lines. And then last but not least, all of your friendly living warrior models, melee weapons, gain critical decapitation.
That's really a cherry.
Yes, this is the, we want something thematic and fun. We don't expect every model in your army to be decapitating every single time they swing a weapon. We expect it to happen a lot sometimes, and maybe it doesn't happen as much other times. But when it does happen, it should be a really sweet cherry on the top when your pirate runs up and just domes that jack with a crit decap on accident and just lays them off the table.
The crit decap honestly could be taken off. Bloodbound, giving all your guys Bloodbound is the primary aspect of this feat. Now, the crit decap, we're not looking to take it off. I'm just saying, like, if somebody's just giving feedback that they can't get crit decap to do anything, it's kind of okay.
Yeah.
Like it's meant to be a cool thing that can happen. You can boost and make those decisions. You have some agency on trying to hit the crit, but it's not the primary focus.
Yeah.
But think of like the tools she has available to her. Like sprint means that she can run up, bop a dude, and sprint back base to base with one of your heavy jacks that has lash, and now she can't be knocked down. So she's like, that's a very typical, right, retaliation is you have a forward caster, someone walks over and headbutts her, and then they just kind of do a punch in the face. There's lots of tricks going on here. Like explore her. Don't just look at her for face value and go, oh, this is great, or oh, this is bad. Like you need to put a little bit of table time into her to figure it out. So please get those games in and get those reports so we can make sure that we settle on a really happy place for her.
And we need to see a lot of testing on her because she is a Crix partisan,
Yes.
right? And so she's going to be played in just a ton of different types of lists and a ton of different types of army compositions. And she does a lot, right? Like you just mentioned. So we're hoping to see probably the most battle reports involving her. We've tested her a lot to make sure that she's where we want her to be. She's very strong in our opinion, and we want to make sure it's not too strong.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to the Blockader?
The Blockader, the Blockader.
Rocket fists is what matters.
Well, how is it? Is it Blockader?
It's a Blockader.
Or do we want to say Blockadeer since we like to mispronounce things?
I don't like to mispronounce things.
The Milady Man.
It's a blockader and a malady man.
Tell us about.
Anyway,
you like things that have chains attached to them.
Yes. Also, I've been messing around, working on a lot of Monpoc lately, and rocket fists exist in Monpoc, and so I love rocket fists. This guy has rocket fists that like crank back to his arms because this is not as high tech as a rocket fist that could just fly back to you all remote control style.
You think they have like
So
the
he's
winch
got to
and they
like
have like
punch you, and then his elbows winch them back in slowly, and his arms are kind of new.
Had that been actually cool if there was like a pirate like on the model, like the back, who had like a big crank?
No, it's automated.
I'm just saying. Thanks, Oz.
This isn't like the Mariner. He doesn't have to have a model base to base with him to crank his fist back in. But yeah, this is basically the other version of a Galleon.
Yes, the new colossal.
Yeah. He trades out the Galleon's cannon banks for flamethrower banks.
Yeah.
So he's got a whole bunch of sprays possibly, and they are spray 8s and D3 attacks. And then the thing I love the most about him is he has rocket fists.
Yes.
They have chain strike, so he's range 4 melees on his own activation.
Yep.
And he has rocket smash, which can basically slap people around. He can like flail the fist at you and knock you sideways. He can pull you at him. It's a 2-inch push.
Push.
In any direction you want with those rocket fists.
It gets scary because here's the thing you could do with this guy, and that we've seen happen.
Yep.
You walk up, you hit somebody, you push them 2 inches with an initial.
Yeah.
Then you hit them again, you push them 2 inches, now you're probably in their back arc. Maybe you had to boost the first 2. Let's say perfect world. You hit them twice, you give them the back arc, you hit them again, you hit them again. That's using 3 focus to buy all your, you hit them 5 times total. You've pushed them 10 inches at this point. Then like you get ancillaried by a monkey and maybe, make another attack. So like, this guy can, in some kind of magic candy land, though we've seen, I think the max we saw was what, 8 inches? Like in an actual, like, you walked up to a caster, you boost the first hit, pushed them so that the rest of your attacks were in the back arc, and then bought some more attacks to push them further and further away, and then made an ancillary in their back, and we got up to 8 inches. But you can get much higher than that. This guy can just shove people around, and I think like you can get him forward, kind of depending on where you're angled at, and then if that last attack crits, slam them. and then knock him down. Like
Yeah.
this guy has surprising movement shenanigans once you get into somebody, and because he's got the 4-inch reach on the activation. Normally, if there's a 2-inch reach, pushing somebody 2 inches constantly would be a little bit more difficult. But with that 4-inch sort of arc in front of you, you can just shift somebody wherever you need them and set up some like crazy kills if they survive being hit that many times by a Popular Strength 21 hit.
And I should point out, just I want to clarify that the push doesn't allow you to change the facing, just happened in the game that we did. The angle of where he was the model. Yeah, you can do weird stuff.
If they're here and you charge here, right, and you're that way, and you start pushing them this way, and their facing stays that way the whole time, you inevitably get in their back arc, and then start pushing them back towards your army. And if that last attack crits, then...
One of the other things I love about this guy is the monkey ancillary attack, because sometimes you can't get that spray lined up exactly where you want it to be.
Yeah.
But you smack the guy with your rocket fist, slide him over, so now he's lined up perfectly with whatever you want. And he doesn't have dual attack. He can't flamethrower and punch in the same turn.
Right.
But that monkey can run up behind and have him shoot that flamethrower once on that thing you've positioned perfectly.
Or sometimes the monkey runs in front of him, as we saw during an assassination
Or you
run.
burn the monkey down and turn it into a missile.
You ancillary him and have him spray the monkey to catastrophic explosions.
One monkey kills another monkey.
No, the monkey got himself killed by ancillarying the spray.
Yeah. He just walks up to the blockader and he's like, hey, you, right here.
Shoot me. I like to think the monkey jumps off the barrel last minute, and the barrel launches, and then the monkey's got no abilities without that barrel.
No, unfortunately, the monkey comes down with the barrel.
In my story, the monkey lives every time.
Also, because it's come up, just like the other models, by the way, we have no idea if this is a new kit or a dual kit or a Bahi model or any of that stuff. That's not our jambo.
I watched a lot of 80s cartoons, and as the ship's exploding, the pilot always jumps out safely.
That was the 80s, man.
When was DuckTales?
This is 2018.
That was the 80s too.
Okay,
no,
good.
everything's still the 80s. This is not 2018, by the way.
Oh my God, it's 2019.
I didn't know it was Wednesday last week. You don't know what year it is. Okay, so legacy models. We're on the
February. It's been a month.
The black. It has been more than a month of this year.
I'm almost 40.
Almost 40.
I'm almost 40.
He talks about like that.
Warrior.
I'm
like
just,
it's like
wait,
it's so
my
old.
mind's slipping.
No,
Anyway.
I'm almost 39. We still got a whole year to
You
go
guys,
and change.
You little
And then we'll
babies.
be ancient and decrepit. We'll be
Super-
mummy-like.
Super old.
Yeah.
So
Skeletal.
Fiona is the caster that we're overhauling in the CID.
Yes.
Right? Every once in a while when we do a CID, we look at a caster that hasn't ever really gotten a bunch of attention, and we do what we did with Cray or one of those other casters in the past. You're still stuck on forgetting what year it
Before
is?
we talk about Fiona real fast, I do want to talk about Shay and Bart very briefly.
Sure.
With all the new stuff we've introduced that we just talked about, and then the rest of the changes that happened to the theme force, before people saw the changes, there were a lot of like, are you changing Bart, are you changing Shay? No. And we're very happy right now with what both Bart and Shay do. We've mentioned Bart multiple times and the interactions he has. And Shay's just a really great warcaster. It's just the theme that he was in before needed some help, and now it has definitely gotten that help. So Fiona, we felt still needed kind of an overhaul, but we're not looking to change Shay or Bart. That doesn't mean it absolutely won't happen, but in general, we're good with that.
One of the common complaints about Bart was that he likes to have hotshot up. He likes to have oh shoot, I forgot the name of the spell that gives batten down the hatches. Sorry.
Yeah.
He tends to be a little focus starved. We
Yep.
think that the monkey helps a lot of those problems.
Yeah, you have 3 extra focus and or 3 extra attacks now.
Yeah.
Micah asks an interesting question.
Yeah.
Getting rid of
Nanacrian
brand on Fiona, that's partially a game balance thing and partially a narrative thing.
Yep.
If you don't know what that word means, where's Doug Seacat when I need him? Where's Doug?
He's home. It's snowing.
I know, but he can still be on the internet.
No.
We haven't lost power like all of Minnesota. So Nanacrian is an infernal word. It's she used to play around with the infernals, but you'll also notice that she doesn't hate Morrowinds anymore.
We keep beeping.
Because things are happening.
We can't say anymore.
We're not going deeper than that, but things are happening in the setting. Because you know infernals are coming.
Yeah.
When we told you that.
There are some narrative clues.
So there's a little bit of narrative stuff going on with these changes, and then a lot of the rest of it is just game balance to look at her and just kind of smooth out a little bit of her interactions.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things we did right there is cultists. The cultist idea. She still brings some pirates who are also samurais with her, but they don't do what her old cultist rule did because we didn't think it was all that great, and we wanted something a little bit more easy to use and that kind of stuff.
They're just better. So
they are just better.
Fiona kept her feet because her feet is baller.
Her feet is
her feet is amazing.
Redonkulous.
yeah, what he said.
Yeah.
The way cultists work now, she picks a non-Moran faction unit, and they become her cultists. While they're in her control range, do we leave a control or command? We left it control, right? Yeah, we left it control. She gets to upkeep a spell for free. Additionally, before I talk about the last thing, we gave her dark rituals, which you'll recognize from Rosheth, which lets him arc through his models. So she has dark rituals now. She can just arc through any model in her control range. They take D3 damage. Her cultists do not. Her cultists do not take any damage whenever a spell is cast to them.
Yeah.
So
we took off Telgesh Mark.
We took off Telgesh Mark and just basically kind of made it better in that now she can arc through anybody without having the spell that she has to have out there and upkept. And so you never know which angle
she doesn't have to telegraph what she's doing with that arc node ability. Which gives her a lot more play in that you don't know exactly what angle she's coming
And you
from.
can certainly arc through your various pirate solos. They've all got boxes, so they can arc relatively safely. Or you can arc through your sweet cultist unit. I would like to point out a thing in here because I know it might come up. With the cultists specifically, they do need to be in formation for her. So you can't just have...
You can't have run one Sea Dog out there.
Well, you can't, you can't also just keep one Sea Dog out of formation behind her to upkeep a spell.
Yeah.
So the main thing with Fiona was, okay, we've got Shay, versatile caster, has a ton of utility.
Yeah, lots of speed.
Very strong Alpha Strike capabilities. You've got Bart, strong battle group. You've got Ohara, who's like kind of this, mixed arms and can do stuff for both sides. And what we wanted Talion to have was like a blaster, a spellcaster blaster. And that is what Fiona is. She has a almost completely new spell list. The ability to arc anywhere, and then the ability to arc through models that she will end up not damaging, and then just an incredibly strong control feat. So spell-wise, what changed is, just look at her spell list completely fresh. She picked up Befuddle. Amazing.
Very powerful control tool.
Yeah, the spell on her I'm actually the most worried about, and I want to see the most people try and
well,
test.
it's a really, really strong spell, especially when you can arc it out on things, because that makes its range fairly ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, telekinesis is like legit one of the best spells in the game.
Yeah.
And Befuddle is not TK, but it's pretty close.
It's really close.
It's pretty good.
There are situations where it can be superior. Most of the time, obviously, it's not, but like it's a very good spell.
TK can't target or Befuddle can't target casters.
Yes.
But TK can.
And you can only do it on enemies, so you can't Befuddle your own stuff. But like, you just gotta move models around, which I heard is good in this game.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, anytime you can
flip people around and stuff.
spin something around to backstrike it, you just give your entire army a +2 to attack it, basically. So that's, and if it has a shield, that's even stronger. So yeah, Befuddle's also one of my biggest concerns.
She picked up Chasen, which is reliable anti-upkeep, one of the only anti-upkeep if you're playing pure Talion.
And I played a playtest game last week where I was running several upkeeps, and I was playing as Faye, and she just kept chasing them off.
Yeah.
And it was good.
Affliction changed to Curse of Veils.
It's like a weird blend of Nanakrian Brand and Curse of Veils
this is kind of like Curse of Shadows and Shadow Fire combined. So it's an arm debuff, of which there's not a ton in Talion, and then the ability to not block line of sight, which is potentially huge for her in order to get those spells where you want them, and for what could just be a heavy gun line to be able to, somebody's hiding behind their colossal, you hit him with Curse of Veils, suddenly the colossal doesn't block line of sight anymore, and you just blow up whatever's behind him. So this spell has a lot of fun application. I see a couple people lamenting the loss of Affliction, and this is what replaced Affliction. So we're going to be paying attention to how people are using Curse of Veils, and should it be reverted back to Affliction? Is Curse of Veils too strong? Is it too soft? Is it just right? Definitely going to keep an eye on it.
Well, we definitely wanted to give them an armor debuff. It's like a damage increase in some capacity. Affliction was not, Affliction is a very powerful ability, but pirates didn't necessarily need a lot of help, like killing a single wound person kind of thing. It was nice for picking down things like jacks or beasts. Tick, 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 right?
It's really good with the swarm, right? But you probably can swarm better with Shay and Ohara. Like
Yeah.
you're probably going to do a little bit combined arms with Fiona. She got occultation because
I heard that's a good spell.
it's a great spell, and we wanted a way to keep her cultists safe and to possibly keep her safe.
And it also fits that dark wizard vibe
Yeah.
that we were going for with her.
Yep. Wrath's Mercy has not changed. Wrath's Mercy is obviously a unique and very strong spell. Basically, when you kill someone in a unit, you get to choose someone else to die, which lets you hold zones particularly well. And she kept Soulfire as well.
Yeah.
And then real quick, I want to address something someone said in Twitch chat. Avon Chaos says, are these changes posted somewhere? If so, how do I find them? Yes. If you go to cid.privateerpress.com, that is our CID forums where we have a whole post explain all these changes, things you want to keep an eye on for test, including this PDF, which is literally exactly what this is right here. PDF you can download to your computer or your phone, print out, and you can go and play and test and play games with your friends. And give us your feedback. And if you have not yet signed up for the CID forums, you can sign up so you can access all the information there. And I have already added everyone this morning who is signed up, but I will do another pass here once we either get done with this or back from lunch. So please feel free to sign up at cid.privateerpress.com and then give me an hour or two and you'll be added and you can go and read them all for yourself.
If you sign up overnight, just keep in mind that we'll probably make you live as soon as we're in the office.
Yeah.
Pacific time, so
I'll basically, for the next 2 weeks, every morning I'll check and moderate and add everyone who signed up every morning when I get into the office.
So let's lightning round the other changes because we're getting close to our hour. We got some questions we could answer on the chat.
So we've already talked about both the things on the Buccaneer, right? Arm and amphibious.
No, because we also gave him a point of mat.
Oh yeah, we made his mat.
He got amphibious, his armor went up, his mat went up, and then after reviewing him compared to other things, his point cost went up by 1 as well. We realized 6 was a little cheap for everything he was doing.
Yeah.
Freebooter got a point of armor.
Yep. And amphibious.
Yep, the freebooter picked up amphibious and a point of armor. That's just the new mentality we wanted to take with the pirate jacks.
Yep.
Similarly, the mariner picked up a point of armor and amphibious. Just because, honestly, 12-17 was a little low for their point cost.
Also got range 2 on the anchor, so now he threshers a little bit.
We did increase the
Thresher
range
your
on the anchor.
Yep.
Sea Dog Pirates. We just gave all the pirates tough natively.
Yep. So that's a kind of global change to those the way the solos. We were talking about taking dodge off the solos helps the theme force do its job a little better. This is another one of those quality of life changes because you could give them tough, and then you could interact with Doc and Grogspar and all that other stuff. But it was a lot of hoops to jump through.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was just easier just to give them base tough. I think the only pirates that didn't have tough. I'm trying to say the Swamp Gobber River Raiders didn't pick up tough. I think just about everyone else picked up tough. Maybe there's 1 or 2 I'm missing, but I know the Swamp Gobbers didn't because they wee little fellas.
So, and while we're on the subject of the pirates, like the Sea Dogs and the Privateers and all that, they didn't really see a lot of changes except the tough, and we dropped 1 point on the low end for the Privateers because we think that a lot of these just general changes around them will improve them, but they are still in the CID, so please don't just give us your hot take on, I don't like this or that because of reasons. You have to understand there's a whole package of layered interactions going on. Please make sure you put it all on the table and see how it feels now as opposed to...
Yeah, pirates are definitely a trickier one to test because, like you said, they're very much a moving machine. It's not quite convergence, but it's kind of like how you have to play the game with all the pieces working together to see what it does.
Yeah. And we didn't magically just make everything in this theme tough because it was already basically tough from rock bottom. We just made you have to press less dials to get there, basically.
It made rock bottom even a little bit more appealing. The riflemen, the weapon attachment for them, they also obviously gained tough. They also gained a point of rat.
Yep. Yeah.
So we bumped them up to rat 5.
We made that rifle slightly higher quality than the pistols they fire.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, you might be rat 4 before you pick up the rifle, but as soon as you pick up the rifle,
those pistols are garbage. They're all
don't
salt rotted and everything.
We don't know.
You could hardly hit the side of a boat with one of those things.
They might have come back from zoo and have all kinds of sweet Zooey's guns.
Nope, not these guys.
Is that the Zooey's?
Oh no, Seacat's gonna slaughter me for that. I have no idea how to.
He's not here.
Is it Zooey's?
I don't know.
Whatever.
Anyway,
Sea Dog and deck gun.
The deck gun.
First, you get 2 of them for free in the theme force now.
Boom.
Yes, because they are only 3 points, so that's only a 6 point.
And they are also FA2.
And they're FA2, so you can just get all the guns you want for free.
Yep. They picked up a rat and advanced deployment. part of the reason they picked up a rat is because we just took Vet Leader off, Vet Leader Sea Dog that gun off of Dougal. Just gave them the rat. You know, just make it easier. You've got enough solos trying to support a lot of different things. A couple of these can be pulled off here and there. And then AD should hopefully, I mean, they're 3-point guns, right?
Yeah.
Like they're not like giant 6-point cannons. They're going to blow up the world. But a pair of them will get some work done. And having them a little further up the field means they'll just get in the fight a little bit earlier and, you know, put a couple pot shots into some medium infantry, a couple AoEs into some light infantry.
Yeah, these are not supposed to blow up the world. These are very light artillery pieces. Like, please don't expect us to just slap a jillion rules onto them. They are supposed to be extremely cheap and quick and agile, and you know, shoot a POW 13 and call it a day.
Ed Burrell just showed up on Facebook. Hi, Ed. It's good to see you.
Hello.
Ed says the name of things from zoo instead of zooies is zoots.
No, it's definitely It's definitely Zoolanders because they're not ambiturners.
Not the people, the stuff. If you come back from a gun, like you find an old crazy gun from zoo, it's a zoot gun.
Only jackets from zoo are called zoots. Anyway.
All right.
Press gangers.
Just kill me now.
Press gangers.
Okay. Wait, did I skip press gangers?
They're on the back page.
Oh, Jesus.
Press gangers got ambushed natively because we took it off the theme force to give them better theme force benefits, which we talked about at the start of the show. So press gangers just got basically a straight improvement of now they always ambush all the time.
Yep.
Bloody Bradigan didn't.
You got a point of death.
We got a point of death.
Bump.
That's right. So Bloody Bradigan, he's the 3-point solo that runs up there, stumbling, and just punches things. He is kind of the epitome of a 3-point combat solo. He's going to get in there, do some damage. He's super cheap, right? He's got Flank Sea Dog. He's got Weapon Master who hits you with a lot of die.
If you have a clump of infantry, he's going to berserk all over them.
Yeah.
But he's just swinging his fists.
Yeah.
So he's only half an inch railing.
We're not looking to push him to like Hawk levels of damage and utility. We want the faction to have those higher cost solos and some lower cost solos. And he is one of our lower cost combat solos. So he's fairly simplistic. He does the job he does. And 9 times out of 10, Bradigan's going to die in the games you play.
But with the new theme force benefit, it's much harder to shoot him before he gets to you.
And he's hard to pull the table because he just has 8 boxes. So.
And tough and suddenly drunk. But I'm saying, like, he's going to get stuck in and kill some guys, and then something's going to kill him. But as long as he gets there and does, 3 points worth of damage, Bloody Bradigan has paid for himself probably more because of the amount of resources your opponent is going to have to put into him to get rid of him.
And I should also point out, because I can already see this happening, Berserk plus Flank Sea Dog is an interaction that is intentional and we like. Like, he is a drunk. He will eventually kill one of your own guys. That is intentional. We totally get that. We don't expect that to change. That is entirely like he's going to run up, he's going to shiv a dude, he's going to shiv another dude, and then he's going to shiv his buddy. This is how it's going to work.
That's his life.
Just a roundhouse punch. That last guy was in the way.
Well, he definitely has like a broken bottle.
He has a broken bottle.
Yeah.
Unless you get the sweet mini crate version.
Ooh.
Bosun Grogspar.
Grogspar. What happened to Grogspar? I don't remember.
I love you.
I don't remember.
So Bosun Grogspar, we added crit devastation to his gun because he's got some dynamite on that. Again, we don't expect this to just happen. Like when it happens, it's fun, it's crazy, it's cool, but we don't expect him to be the guy who just runs up and automatically just starts devastating models around the table. And then we also bumped up his cost by 1.
Yep. Just because of what he's doing honestly, you're probably getting him free from the theme force.
Yep.
But in terms of like an honest review of what he's doing compared to other solos, like No Sleeping on the Job Living Privateer is very strong. Works on all your casters.
And combined with the fact that he has the sack pawn, that's the big thing.
A more than 16-inch bubble of no knockdown tough is a big deal.
Yes. And then the crit devastation was a little something extra that, like you said, it might kick off. But yeah, he went up a point. Yeah.
Basically, his point is kind of paying for the other abilities we've put on other models, essentially.
Hawk also went up a point, but she gained a couple things. First off, she has lunge on her cutlasses now.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, they're now range 2. And she's got Weapon Master, of course. She still has sprint. The main thing that she actually lost was that she lost Sucker. And that's because she picks up Sack Pawn if you're playing her in Talion, which means when you're playing Hawk outside of Talion, she's not as survivable, though she does a little bit more damage, or she has a better threat range with the lunge. And it's cool for pirates to be better in the pirate theme force than they are in other places. It's still nice for them to be a viable option in other themes where you can take 1 merc solo or 1 mercenary unit. But if the pirate theme makes our pirates better, That's kind of the design that we're going for. You know, one thing we always have to keep an eye on is we don't want people to look at all this cool package of pirate stuff and go, well, it would just be better in irregulars, right? And that's something to. So we want Talion to make the pirates feel cohesive and strong together. And Hawk's still just she's a fine solo no matter how you're using her.
So we had a question, Zachary asked if Doc is supposed to be in a CID. We consider him exactly like he's supposed to be right now.
Yeah.
So we didn't include him in this because he's not getting any changes and we don't foresee any changes. That doesn't mean that if we get a lot of feedback about some weird interaction, we won't add him later.
Yeah.
But right now, Rockbottom and Groxbar and Hawk and those guys are all in there because they got a tweak of some sort and we want to test those changes.
Yeah, like for Dirty Meg, for example, we think is perfect.
Yeah.
Right, like Dirty Meg, oh crap, he's perfect. Dirty Meg we think is really good and we're very happy with what she does.
We're happy with where Dirty Meg is right now.
And
so,
I mean, another thing came up is someone says like, why isn't Iona and Holt included in the CID? Just because models are privateers doesn't mean that they're going to the CID. We put the models into the CID that we felt we wanted to adjust or take a glance at or give to the community to fiddle with. Iona and Holt is not one of those models. We're very happy with where Iona and Holt are now, and it's very hard to change Iona and Holt without reshaping a lot of the game because they are models that are very, very potent. And just because they're privateers doesn't automatically mean they're going to be in this document.
And there'll be a lot of testing on these models anyway, right? If you're playing Talion, you're going to be bringing them, so we will get lots of feedback on them even though they've had no changes.
Yeah.
Rockbottom got a really, so now that Tough is basically on all the pirates by themselves, right, except for the River Raiders, his Walk It Off ability that gave units Tough was no longer relevant. So that became something, I think, far more potent. Now,
awesome.
it's basically Shake, right? Like anything that's suffering knockdown or stationary, immediately stands up or gets rid of stationary, and also gets rid of continuous effects. Now, you do have the no knockdown bubble on Bosun, which we talked about, but sometimes he dies.
Yes, or you're out of his aura.
Yeah, sometimes you have to have those pirates off doing something scenario-wise that Groxbar
If your opponent's a Krios 1 player or a Barnabas 1 player, they're going to try and kill that guy so that they can use their feet to knock down your whole army.
No stationary, though, is really, really awesome. Like, just being able to walk up in that massive command range and just walk it off and just kill off all the stationary and continuous effects as well if they somehow don't end up killing your pirates.
I mean, there are definitely like some feats and some effects out there that when you get in a range or base to base or near things, you catch on fire or things like that. So that's the situation in which you could be a pirate and be on fire and like not have died if it happened during your turn.
Yeah.
Real fast, we hit Dougal. Dougal lost veteran leader on the deck guns because we just increased their rat. And that's because we gave him a new ability we wanted on him. And he was getting a little chunky in the terms of like the Stereo stuff he's doing. So he has Spyglass now, which is just model in his line of sight, global range on the board, loses stealth. We've seen this on Reinhold. We've seen it on the Siege Crawler. And it makes a lot of sense on the Master Gunner, who is literally running and holding a Spyglass in his hand.
Yeah.
And it's something that pirates don't have a lot of anti-stealth tech. So now Dougal has yet another use. Like, this is the guy, if you're bringing a gun line, you're bringing Dougal. Artillerist, double powder ration, Spyglass. He says, I make shooting even better.
Yep.
And last but not least, the Galleon.
And the Galleon.
We'll get one more after that.
Oh, wait. Do I not have the dose?
Back of the Galleons.
Oh, there they are.
Damage
Jeez.
So, Jeff, you want to talk about that one?
Yeah, which one?
The Galleon.
Oh, yeah, Galleon. All right, so the Galleon, we gave him a big points drop. I think he went from 39 to 35, right?
Something like that.
So 4-point drop puts him in line with a lot more of the colossals that we've kind of had a chance to touch in CID for the last 2 years. And then on top of that, we gave him a power lifter because he's got a big clampy hand. So power lifter is something you would have seen from the Steelhead, right?
Yes, it's the Crane ability, but it says faction. Friendly faction only.
Yep, so please keep an eye on this. Is an additional 2 inches of threat range on things too much.
Can help that Swabber get that harpoon pull.
Oh, I mean, no, it does a billion things. Puts
I
Hawk
mean,
in range.
You probably don't power lifter the Swabber if you have the Galleon's harpoon, but maybe something weird's going on. Maybe the.
I mean, you could
maybe the harpoon
one that way and harpoon this way because power lifter just happens. It's not an action. You don't pay for it.
Yeah.
You just get to move one of your models, and that's very good.
The point cost was obviously going to be a big topic for people. Like, before the Pirate CID even started, people were asking what the Galleon was going to be down. When we spent a lot of time reviewing what he was doing with the inclusion of Powerlifter in sort of the greater pantheon of Colossals and their point values since the all the iterations of CIDs that have occurred.
Yep.
And then also had to compare him to the Blockader and what the Blockader was doing at 36 points. So 35 is where we're very comfortable at starting. Not saying that's where it's going to end at. Like, it could go up. It could maybe go down depending on what happens. A lot of that's going to come down to the battle reports and the feedback that we get. But we're feeling very confident at 35 being right when you look at things like a Conquest, a Victor, a Kraken, and all the different other colossals sort of in the pantheon, like I said.
Yep. And then the Devil Shadow.
Yep.
Mutineers.
They're sea dogs. You can sack pawn to them.
They picked up tough.
Yep.
They picked up tough.
Yeah, they've all got tough now. And then
And I think that's an important
Mars weapon got
longer.
1 range.
Yeah,
it went from
half
Saber.
to 1.
A lot of swords in the game on warrior models are range 1.
And she's the one with Berserk. And, you know, whereas Bradigan specifically has half-inch Berserk. That's a very specific interaction we want with him. The 1 inch is just, you know, this is an 8-point unit of characters.
It's also like a skill thing. Like, these are not drunk pirates. They're like weird, they're like almost dark magic-y.
There's some sort of evil pirates. They have magic that keeps them alive.
They went across the Meridius and their boat came back, and nobody knows how or why. Like, their ship went out in the Meridius and they were thought lost, and the boat came back with just those 3 on it. They were the only 3 alive, and everybody's like, what the hell?
So mysterious.
And also, the last little note on here is we made them partisan cricks. So,
They could always
Put 'em
work
in
for
your
cricks,
list.
but now they're evil pirates, so they.
yeah, they're the Crixian type of evil pirate.
So now you can make an even more robust, totally cricks pirate list.
Oh, Tony is playing us out.
No,
done.
I think
We sat
that's
here and
Tony
talked for an
saying,
hour.
okay, we're done. Get out of here.
Yeah.
It has been over an hour, so normally
Yeah.
we get to answer a little bit more questions from chat. We got to a few of them, but we did go a little long just because there was so much to
Well,
cover here.
we've gone longer with CID launches before.
Yeah.
We've gone like an hour and a half or more.
Yeah. So,
A lot of this was straightforward.
Yeah.
Wazzle Wazzle asked about the theme. We covered the theme at the start of it, and if you want to check out the rules for the theme force and everything else, go to cid.privateerpress.com. In fact, all the stuff we talked about today, if you want to get in on the testing, if you want to read through the rules and provide your thoughts and help out in this process, cid.privateerpress.com. As a reminder to everyone, there is no Get Your Paint On tomorrow. Jordan and I are leaving for Las Vegas Open, so come get your paint on live with Jordan at Vegas.
There's also a non-zero chance of the city getting snowed in again.
Yep.
Friday might also be a horrible snow day.
Yeah.
So, and then the 2 questions we're going to answer real quick was, what's your favorite model of the theme, and is there anything you're watching very closely? I'll go first. They're the same for me. The Powder Monkey is my favorite model of the theme, and his abilities of ancillary, of being able to take 3 of them for so cheap and empower 3 of them for so cheap, is one of the things I'm keeping my closest eye on. Oz, what's your
So
favorite?
I'm not gonna. The monkey is my favorite model,
What are you keeping an eye on?
but I think that Fiona's changes with the arc node from anywhere kind of thing and some of her other spell changes and stuff is what I'm mostly concerned about, because we overhauled her spell list really heavily, and we want to make her better than she was because she was at the very bottom of that barrel.
Sure.
So I want to get her right in this CID because she's the model that got the biggest sweeping changes.
And Jeff, what is your answer to the Twitch question?
So
Favorite
in
model?
terms of models to keep an eye on, definitely Rahera, simply because she's a merc, so she's going to be in Talion. She'll also be in the other merc themes, and she's Crick, so she'll be in Crick. So there's a lot going on there. She has a very diverse spell list. I want to make sure that there's not some weird corner case list that's going to blow up the game because of some bizarre interaction on her. So please keep that mindful. And as for my favorite model, I like Scallywag's model quite a bit. In fact, because of Scallywag, I kind of want to comp out a pirate army just to have a little pirate force.
I just want to find out, and I don't know if the monkey is a separate bit or not that goes on top of the barrel. I'm not sure if he's connected in some way. But
I
if he's
doubt it, but
if he's a separate bit, I'm ordering hundreds of monkeys.
also-
I got my monkey fixed from the Milady Man. So
he also might not be that hard to cut off, like a jewel
yeah,
saw
sure.
or something. At the top of that barrel is pretty flat. You could probably slice that monkey right off there.
So, thanks for joining us, everybody. We will see you next week for the dev chat on Wednesday, where we will catch up with all of you of how the CID has been going. And you know, for those of you coming to Vegas for the Las Vegas Open, a couple of us will see you there. Until then, take it easy.
Adieu.
It's piratey. So what do you say when you say bye for a piratey thing?
Bar.
A vast.
Fair seas and following winds.
Yes.
There we go.